Alright, we should be live. For whatever reason, my intro didn't play. Alright guys, hopefully you can hear me. This is Ricky. This is our very first time attempting to go live with video. It looks like we had a little bit of hiccup with my intro going on, but hopefully you can hear me. I got Davina with us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to bring her on here. So, hi there Davina, how you doing?
Hey everybody, doing great, how about you?
Pretty good. Am I coming through pretty good? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Good, I was worried about that. I'm on Wi-Fi, so my connection's not the greatest. I was worried about some lag. But anyways, welcome to our live stream. Pretty exciting.
It is exciting. Hopefully you don't cut out too much. You were starting to cut out a little bit there.
Uh-oh. Alright, let me know if it gets bad. We'll go from there.
Okay.
Alright, so, welcome Davina. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, I'd say. How about you?
Can't complain. Can't complain at all. Alright, so let's kick off with the show. What do you got for us tonight?
Alright. Hopefully I'm not cutting out either.
You're fine.
Good. Alright, so where I left off, what we talked about last episode was about my introduction, my paranormal experiences, and missing 411, how they related to Bigfoot, werewolves, Fae, and they kind of made that as an argument to a spirit ecosystem. And then I started diving just a little bit into that, and we're going to now dive into some more. So, for starters, one of the arguments I want to make is this quantum physics theory called the observer effect. I don't know if you've heard of the observer effect.
It sounds familiar. What is that?
So it's the idea that literally us looking at things in reality influences it. So, and it's very interesting. I wanted to show this YouTube video, and hopefully it won't take so much memory that it'll kill our show here. I'm going to try to share the screen so I can show this video. I'm not going to play it, but I just want to show you what the video looks like, so you guys can like find it yourselves. So let's see, share screen.
This is our first time, guys, so bear with us while we get to know our new format here.
Alright, so just to be clear, you can see this, Ricky, right? This YouTube video?
Let me add it to the... There we go, now I can see it.
Okay. So it's the observer effect of quantum physics. And like I said, I'm not going to play the video, I just want to show you what it looks like so everyone can like know where to find it if they want to learn more about it. So...
Alright, that's good.
So the idea is that they play these particles and they both record with observation through a camera lens, and without a camera lens they're still able to measure these particles, and they found that they actually behave differently.
The double slit experiment.
What was that?
The double slit experiment. Are you hearing me, or am I breaking up?
You broke up a little bit.
You'll need to continue on your personal device.
Yeah,
sorry, something's wrong.
The double split experiment is what you're referring to.
I've never heard of the double split, so it's the same idea?
Yes.
Okay. But basically, I brought that up as a reason why I think people disappear when you're not looking at them. I think literally when you watch somebody, it keeps them in our present reality, but when you keep your eyes off, that's when forces like can take over and remove that person from our physical reality.
Okay. That does make sense.
Yeah. Because the whole, when we observe things, it literally impacts our environment. And also that, according to the video, the argument also that consciousness affects the behavior of reality. And I'm not sure exactly how that ties in with the paranormal exactly. But that's also something to keep in mind, that maybe like your attitude, and if you think you can do something, then it can like manifest in reality. You've heard about that, right? All you gotta do is just believe in yourself, and you can manifest it.
If you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Exactly. Next page. So yeah, and also based on the fact that with the observer effect, I think also that these creatures like Bigfoot and everything, I think they can know and sense this observation through the observer effect. I think there's like something extra. Like I'm not sure exactly what observing does. There must be some sort of like energy or something that these creatures like Bigfoot can like pick up on, so they always know when they're being watched, even by video cameras. That's why it's so hard to get them. That makes sense, right?
It does. That makes perfect sense.
So I wanted to bring up the Sami culture, and for those of you who don't know, the Sami culture are people that are indigenous to the northern areas of Scandinavia, so Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and a little bit of Russia, only a little bit, all in the northern area. But these people are known for herding reindeer. That's like a big thing as part of their culture. Excuse me. And in their folklore, there's this creature that I've never heard of before, and the pronunciation. Uh-oh, I think we lost.
Good. I can change the word shows just you.
Oh, okay. So the name of this creature that I've never heard of before in their folklore is called, forget my pronunciation, it might be a little off. I want to say Aparis. And I want to read a passage from my book here to give everyone like a insight on this creature. And before I do that, I do want to show you guys this book, A Year in Lapland by Hugh Beach, the guest of the reindeer herder. This book is technically out of print, so by if you get your hands on it, it's a really good book. It really influenced like what I believe in, and just if you like learning about different indigenous cultures and beliefs, then you'll love this book. And funny story, I was actually supposed to return this, like I bought the book so it's mine, but the teacher of the course recommended I returned it because it was out of print, everyone in class, but because I liked the book so much I never did. So hopefully that course is still alive and well without me. But alright, so alright, so can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, just want to make sure. So there ahead was a tiny baby clawing its way over the snow with incredible strength, naked and wailing. It was an Aparis. These spirits were unwanted children, usually born out of wedlock and killed by their mothers. It was a horrible thing and was commonly done in secrecy. The murdered baby would die without baptism and without a name. Because of this, its soul could not rest. It would wander endlessly, crying, terrifying both until someone gave it a name. And that Paris can be so frightening and terrible that it is best to run away. And a Paris can be so frightening. Oh wait, I already read that. If one can manage to cross some open water, there is safety, for the Aparis cannot follow. But some Sami have memorized parts of the baptismal ritual and are able to put down an Aparis and give it a name without fear.
Okay. Sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar? You've heard of a creature like this before?
Ironically enough, in The Witcher, in their lore, there's something similar. Well, there's a baby, but it's more spirit than physical. That's kind of the same situation at a wedlock, I guess, and it was killed. But maybe it's from the same, because it's Norwegian. So maybe it's from the same kind of background, but it sounds like that story.
Yeah, it does sound like there's a connection to that, because, yeah, it is exactly in that same area. So, that's really interesting. I never thought The Witcher would have something like that.
Let's see if I can find... It's called a botchling. A botchling. Here, I'll try and do some screen sharing here. Let's see if I can...
Okay.
Show what I have here. Let's see. Bear with me, because I have not done this before. I think you did it easier than I did. Oh, here we go. Alright, are you seeing the screen here?
It's loading. Yeah, I see it.
Small creature resembling a highly deformed fetus created from the improper burial of an unwanted stillborn infant. Very similar.
Yeah.
Very, very similar, yeah. Alright.
They likely took inspiration from that. And yeah, in that story, they had like an example of an old guy who encountered one, and he told it to go away. It did. However, the consequence, instead of running away, it cost his oldest daughter, like, her life. She seriously died shortly after.
Oh, man. So you're supposed to run away.
Yeah, unless you know how to do that baptismal rite. So, and it's just like, even though I guess people have heard of it because of The Witcher, apparently, but outside of The Witcher, I've never heard of a creature like that anywhere around the world. So
Me either.
that kind of gives it more to my argument of the spirit ecosystem. Because the people in this culture swear by it, that this thing exists. They've seen it, and it's just, you know, how is that possible? Like, I don't think it's mass hysteria either. Like, I think mass hysteria is supposed to be a temporary condition. I don't think it's supposed to be like something that lasts for like generations. You know what I mean?
Probably not. Yeah.
So, I definitely don't think it's mass hysteria. So, yeah, I just wanted to do that. I'm gonna do actually, I'm not gonna do a recap just yet. Actually, wait. I think I will recap, and then that's when I'm gonna touch on more of that werewolf story. So, just to recap, I think spirit ecosystems make sense. There's lots of questions and unknowns of like how it works, obviously, because there's not a lot of study. And it's really hard, and it's even harder, I would think, for anyone to like not only go from spirit, physical to spirit, but they come back. I mean, not only is that hard, but it's even harder to remember like where you've been. So it's just very hard to study.
It is.
What I'm gonna write down. disappear and get lost in the spirit world? Is it by invite only? Or can it be done through witchcraft, maybe? Maybe you can open a portal, you can get through, and then out again. It's here. I mean, it's not like witchcraft isn't exactly something that's popular or common. It's not really something I've heard of people doing, except for maybe, I guess, chiefs, like Native American chiefs. I think I've heard of them opening, like, ceremonial portals just for, like, connect to ancestors or whatever. But I don't think they themselves pass through it. I think it's more they're encouraging spirits to come through to our world, I think. That's how I seem to understand it, but I could be totally off the base. I would like to think the reverse could be true, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
And dead human spirits tend to be confused, so that could also be just part of the spirit world environment of confusion. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, there's some spirits, when you talk to them, at least according to shows and stuff. And even that one, I think, at the Kent Historical Museum, now I think about it. Remember when Megan was talking to the spirit, and then she just kind of go, and then the spirit kind of mimicked her going, like her so.
Yeah, wow,
So,
I forgot about that. Okay.
yeah, so that spirit was definitely in the present moment, knowing what was going on, but not all of them are like that. Some of them are just kind of confusion. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, kind of like what do you call it, intelligent haunting versus what's the other one? The other kind of haunting where it's basically a repeat, or it's energy, but it's not actually happening in real time. I forget what they call it.
Yeah, I know what you're
Residual.
talking about. Like,
Residual
yeah,
haunting.
yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe residual hauntings are just like residual energy, and it's not about being confused. Or maybe both exist simultaneously.
Possibly. That is very possible. And I will do a quick screen share to show these guys what you're talking about, because I do have those videos on the YouTube channel. Now if you go down here, you can see, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is back when we did our annual investigations with them. We had a agreement we did through Halloween, and if they give the raffle tickets to winners, if we let them join us, we can get to investigate. I do miss doing that, but that's back where those came from.
Right. Yes. So yeah. So I've been thinking about all this together. We talked about combined, and what does it mean, and like what would work? What would work in terms of protecting yourself? So first off, I would say never wander off alone if you're in any type of national park area, camping or not, and or your kids especially. Never leave your kids alone. Also, maybe bring an EMF meter. See if there's anything nearby you that you can't see.
Good point.
I mean, after all, you know, we all, not we all, but it is suggested in this podcast that magnetic fields are a part of why this stuff could be happening. So the EMF should be picking up on anything that might be like watching you or trying to mess with reality around you.
Right.
I would also pay attention and be alert if someone in the group wants to like really leave. Like if someone says like, hey, I really want to continue on this trail by myself, like, try, like, if you can't convince them not to, then it's just to go with them. Because obviously there's something predatory going on, and, you know, and maybe it's nothing, but you don't want to risk it. Like, I mean, imagine you love your friend enough to want to lose them forever. You cut out
Yeah.
what you said.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, unfortunately, we aren't a Wi-Fi connection. It's not the strongest connection, but I don't have a way of connecting directly to the router here, so that's going to be one of our issues here until I can find a way around that. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but it is showing my signal is on the weaker end.
Are you impacted by Hurricane Ian at all?
No, it missed us. We got some wind the other day, but nothing bad.
Oh, man. So, more to the advice that we can protect ourselves. People who are confused or seem to be like in a trance, and maybe if you really insist on going by yourself for whatever reason, maybe hike to, what's the word? Hike with in a way that makes you with anxiety. I'll explain that. So, the idea with trance and hypnosis is that no, you're not going to be forced to do anything you wouldn't normally do. And I believe that's still true even in the case of, like, these creatures. So, the only thing I could think of that would, like, one of the ideas is that maybe just be anxious because you have to pay a bill tomorrow. So, or, like, within a few days. So, like, oh, I really got to pay that bill, and just keep thinking about it while you wander off alone. So that even when you're under a trance, it's gonna somewhat wake you up and be like, oh wait, I gotta pay this bill. And maybe that'll hopefully wake you out of it.
Like a distraction, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how perfect that is, because I know that some of the examples, like, they could even, like, manipulate to think that someone was with you the whole time when they weren't. So, I don't know how well that'll play out. I don't know if they'll make you believe that you already paid the bill, so I'm not really sure. It's just an idea. Also, kind of a joke, maybe wear a tinfoil hat.
Hey, that supposedly works. You might look a little odd, but you'll be safe.
I don't think it could hurt. And, then there's the idea of iron, and iron, that was going to be a 50-50, because I've read some stories of Fae and other creatures being adverse to iron. They'll stay away, because it's supposed to be like some sort of like human technology they don't understand, or a human element they don't understand. Anyways, they associate it with people, and so it kind of scares them away. I've also read, like, some reports where they're actually curious and are drawn to it. So, I'm not really sure if iron is the best metal of protection, but I would say it's probably better than anything else, maybe even better than tinfoil hat. I mean, at least there's some lore behind it. So,
yeah, because iron's supposed to be good against a lot of things. Negative spirits, or even, you know, skinwalkers supposedly are allergic to iron, or it causes them to go away, but it couldn't hurt to try.
Really? Is that part of the Netflix show? Because I haven't heard or seen the Netflix show.
Of which one?
The Skinwalker Netflix show, is that from that?
Oh, actually, ironically enough, it's from Supernatural, which is based on a lot of real lore.
Oh. Alright, that makes sense.
That is a good show to watch, though, the Skinwalker Ranch, or, yeah.
Yeah, I wish I watched it. I just didn't realize that it got cool. later on. I just watched the first episode and kind of yawned at it. So
Yeah.
I quit too early. There's another idea that I kind of came up with where you, it has a Gnostics roots to it, and for those of you who don't know what that means, Gnostic means knowledge of God, and so you can write somewhere where you'll see it, like, I am me, that theoretically, it's supposed to be something that empowers you, and maybe if you see that, that'll wake you out of your trance, but you gotta make sure it's somewhere where you can see it. So, and these stories, a lot of people discard their backpacks and stuff, so I don't know if a backpack would be a good place to put it. It would just have to be somewhere, maybe on your body. Write it, where you can see it. Maybe that'll wake you up. But really, just anything to protect your senses. If you really had to do anything by yourself. But again, I recommend not do anything by yourself. If you feel compelled, do not. It's a trap.
I mean, that must.
Uh-oh, what? What happened?
Am I still breaking up really bad?
Yeah, you did.
Oh. While saying the missing 411 is something that could be related to that.
I mean, like, oh, you mean like people being called by unseen forces? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah. And, I think I'll take this time to read more of that werewolf story I brought up in the last podcast, because I felt bad I didn't have a lot of details on it. So, because it's been so long. So I just decided to research it, and wrote everything down. So, the story of the werewolf case, there's two different starts for whatever reason, and I don't know if 1564 is just based on because the person in question said that he started this as a 12-year-old, but the official like documented happenings is 1582. This happens in Bedburg, Germany, and this is a time of the Black Death was happening, and witch trials were happening, and apparently even like werewolf trials were happening. So these were common like superstitious accusations, and they were all executed for it. And so during this time, there were daily cattle mutilations, and the beast one day. Well, the beast attacked men, women, children, even a couple pregnant women. And one day, the beast finally attacked a girl that was playing by cows with other kids. And in the commotion of the girl screaming for help, it scared the cows. And the stampeding cows scared the beast off, ran away. So the girl was able to basically tell an adult about what happened, and basically that's when the adults got like energized to say, okay, we need to do something about this. And so according to a pamphlet in 1589, men were hunting for this creature for days, and they got the dogs involved, and the dogs helped track it down. And according to some sources, the wolf transformed actually in front of eyewitnesses into a man again. And this man was Peter Snoop, and he's a wealthy farmer, and his story is that he made a pact with the devil at 12, and he had to he sold his soul for worldly pleasures, and he described himself as a wicked fiend with a desire for wrong and destruction. And he was inclined to bloodlust and cruelty. So apparently the devil gave him a wolfskin magic belt to satiate this thirst. And that's how he supposedly became this werewolf. And supposedly lost this belt in the forest before he was cornered and captured. So he confessed to these crimes, but he was also tortured, and his execution was quite brutal. They tore his skin off with like hot iron rods and broke it, like I think his arms and legs on those wheels, and beheaded him. So yeah, and so I was looking into the story like from multiple sources, and so there's a lot of like debate on whether or not these testimonies are accurate, because they think there might be some like political thing going on where he was just somebody who like took the fall for wolves that were actually doing these things, and so they had to like play up the whole witchcraft like werewolf thing. So maybe they just had him take the fall, had him like torture till he confessed that he did these things. That's
right.
What skeptics say to this story. Others believe that he really did do it, but he was wearing like a wolf skin during all this stuff, so he didn't like literally transform. But I don't know. I was reading like about wolf attacks because I found it interesting, because both a lot of cultures, including like the Sami culture I brought up, really had a hard time with wolves, and I wanted to know why. So I wanted to look up if wolf attacks were like used to be common back in the day. And the one country that really like kept track of this stuff was France. France seemed to really like hate wolves, and they said that over a period of I think 300 years they had 7,000 attacks.
Wow.
And I believe over half of them were caused by rabies, if I remember correctly, but still, that's still like a lot of cases of not being related to rabies being attacked.
Yeah.
So, and I was reading that the wolves in North America, I guess, tend to be shyer than the ones like abroad for whatever reason. So, I don't know. There's a lot of debate on whether or not a wolf would really just kill for fun, but these are just modern people, so I don't really know, like, modern people looking back at these stories, if they could really understand the struggles of these people and the wolf. So, I mean, maybe a wolf was doing all this, but I don't know. At the same time, it doesn't seem very wolf-like. Because, like I said, that there's a specific story within the story of two guys and a woman who like heard cries for help, and one guy went in, didn't come back. The other guy decided to go after him, see what happened. He never came back. The woman got frightened and ran off, and that's when the creature supposedly went after her. So, I mean, unless that story was also made up just for religious propaganda, I don't really think that was just a wolf can't really cry for help.
Right.
So I don't know. So also, this guy wasn't exactly a good guy, because whether or not he was a serial killer, it was confirmed that he had incest relations with his own daughter. So he wasn't exactly a good guy. Also, I think the sister as well. So, his daughter and sister. And supposedly, I don't know if this is confirmed or more towards that religious stuff, but it said that in werewolf form he ate his own son. So, So yeah, they think that basically everyone who saw him transform, like, made it up. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I guess that's up to you viewers. Who you believe? Do you think people would make something like that up for religious propaganda, or do you think people actually saw a man, well, a wolf turn to a man in front of a bunch of people? So.
I mean, seeing is believing.
Yeah, I know. Like, there is this thing that, I know that there's a lot of, like, false testimonies because of torture. So, that definitely could be an element.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's just really, really strange, weird story where I don't think it's, like, obvious one way or the other.
Well, if I'm being tortured and I wanted to stop, I'll confess to anything.
Exactly. And, that reminded me of something I wanted to look up, and I totally forgot. That I could have sworn I heard, like, a rule of thumb that if you torture somebody after such and such time and they don't say anything, then they're basically not going to ever tell you, or they just generally don't know. So, and I can't remember what amount of time that was, but it wasn't like a particularly long time either. So, but yeah, it's not really someone you can feel bad for, but at the same time, that just really sucks. And I guess we'll never know unless you actually travel back in time. This guy really did turn into a wolf or not. And and another comment I wanted to make with the whole theory of him wearing a wolf skin to do all this stuff. They never found anything like that. So, I mean, I figure like a wolf skin would be easy to find. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they never found even a wolf skin, then obviously either A, he really was connected to this werewolf transformation, or B, he really was made up. So I'm not really sure. But I have a hard time believing all this was done by wolves, especially because there was this one chart I saw looking at wolf attacks, and I don't know how accurate it is because I kept reading like different countries on one website, and then another website would list a different country I didn't read on the other website having these problems, and it basically said Germany never had any wolf attacks that were related to being rabid. So I don't know if that's just inaccurate from that website, or if it's really true and that there's no way all these deaths could have been done by just a wolf pack or a wolf.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very interesting story. Peter Stew. If you guys want to read more about it or learn more. What else? Oh yeah. And so I think now is a good time to jump into the stuff I wanted to show earlier, like the bobcat noise. We did get the bobcat noise uploaded up. If I don't know if you want me to play it or you play Ricky. I have it set up if you
Go for it.
go for it. Okay. So just for reference, everybody, the bobcat noise we talked about last episode took place when we were at the Northwestern Cemetery and Asylum in Cedar Woolley, Washington, and we were up on top of this hill, overlooking one of the ruins of the asylum when this happened. So keep that in mind, and I'll play it right now. I don't know. Hopefully we can hear it, because I hear a lot of loud background noise or something. So, I don't know. Do you have a fan going on?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you able to just temporarily pause it while I...
Yes. Is that better?
Yes, much better. Okay, I'll play it now. Did you hear it?
I didn't. Is it connected through your computer or?
Yes. Hang on. I'll turn up the volume like super loud. But I guess that doesn't really help it. It just helps me listen. I guess it doesn't really help the audio output. Maybe it would be better if you did.
I don't have it though myself.
Oh, I sent it to you. Do you want? I could send it through the chat.
Okay.
I'll send a video file here.
Alright, looking for it now.
Shoot. No, that's not what I wanted to send anyway, so that should be fine. Man, it won't let me send it for whatever reason, because it doesn't want me to send... Oh, all files. There we go. Maybe now it'll let me. Let's see. Looks like your video file doesn't have a video track. Well, yeah, it's not. It's an audio file. Shoot.
Are you trying to...
Huh?
Is the file on your computer or your phone?
It's on the computer handy, so...
Try doing a screen share with it and play it from there.
Maybe share audio. I guess I can do that. Alright, we'll try. Let me rewind it back to the sound real quick. Bear with us. It's our first time doing this.
Still learning.
So, alright. Sharing screen. So yeah, not there. I guess it would be here. Sure. You there, Ricky? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, now I can hear. Oh, whoa. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Can you see the audio? The blank audio screen here of blackness?
let's see. I see a bunch of everything.
See a bunch of everything? You still see my desktop? You don't see the audio file?
I see your desktop. Try playing it through that. See if it'll work.
Hang on a second. Oh yeah, that is trippy. Okay, so... Let me try this again.
Okay.
Because there's supposed to be like an audio share button. I don't remember seeing an audio share button during that, so let's try again. I'll share screen. Oh, there we go. Share system audio. Okay. So that should help. Yes. 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 Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So now it should play. If I can hit the button.
Is it not letting you hit the button?
There we go. Did you hear it?
It's real faint.
It's still faint.
Yeah.
I might be able to turn it up on my laptop, but it doesn't work this next time, then I don't know what to do. That's probably as loud as I can get it.
It's going through your headphones though, not the speakers, but it should still work.
Yeah, that's the only weird thing that I'm not really sure how to make better. Alright, one more time.
You can hear it, but it's faint, but you can hear it.
Okay. Yeah, so that is the quote noise that we heard that might or might not have been a bobcat. I would love to hear you guys in the comments if you would please share what you think that noise is, if you can hear it. If not, I apologize.
It's all good. We'll figure it out and find another way in a different show if we have to.
Yeah, that's fine. Wanted to share that. And what else? Oh yeah, I did look into I tried looking up the Phoenix Inn haunted thing, and I couldn't really find anything. So what I'm gonna end up doing is probably making a post to see if anyone else can find anything, or maybe I can just ask my mom directly and see like how she found out the Phoenix Inn was haunted, because I couldn't find nothing on why it would be haunted. So if anyone knows why, also comment on that. Also, I did review the podcast actually just before we did this one, and I noticed that I said I would look up like locations of certain things, and for instance, that story about the camping and the tripwire and the girl's foot being touched. Apparently, I accidentally combined those two stories. They were actually separate. So apparently, the tripwire story happened somewhere in northern Oregon, and the girl where she got her foot touched by some creature actually happened somewhere in the Sierra Nevada mountains, one of their campgrounds. So unfortunately, the campground isn't specifically given. So I wish I can give you more. You're just gonna have to really search those areas, I guess, if you really want to find the creatures these stories came from. Let's see. What else? Did I reach everything? Let's see. Werewolf. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I guess, oh, no, I didn't cover everything. YouTube question. Someone asked me on YouTube a good question about how I knew the lid was flipping on my trash can silently. So just a recap from last episode. I talked about being haunted in my own home, and the trash can lid was moving by itself, and I said I was moving silently, and then it would just completely stop. So I had someone ask how I knew it was silent, because at the time I was watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and so I had to think about it, and honestly, the details of that memory aren't clear. I knew at one point I definitely stopped playing, but it's hard to know if I stopped. Am I still there?
You're here.
Okay.
Just a screenshot of the question. So shout out to your friend there, Catherine.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I know she goes by Katie on Facebook. So yeah, thank you, Katie, for that question. And I was thinking about it myself, and I know I definitely stopped the movie, but I don't know if it's after it stopped moving, or I mean, it had to have been before it stopped moving, because it was just so quick, and I don't think it would have had the reflexes quick enough to stop it and then watch. So I guess there is somewhat of that issue. At the same time, I don't think the volume was loud enough to drown out something like that. So that's why I still think the noise was muffled. I don't think it was muffled from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I mean, it'd be different if there was like a lot of yelling and screaming at the time, but at the time when this was happening, she was running and kind of maybe sobbing, I guess. So I guess So I mean, it's not like the most loudest scene, but it's still kind of action-packed. Kind of. I'm trying to think how to describe it better. Because I didn't really have a surround sound either, so it's just kind of more like noise in the TV. I don't think noise from a garbage can moving, like, I think I would still hear it, maybe not well, but maybe just faintly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I don't have the memory clear, but I'm guessing that's what I did. So I know I definitely stopped the movie, I just don't know at what point. But if I had to guess, because it happened so fast, it was after it stopped moving. So I guess if you want to have some skepticism, then that's fine. I understand. But it did move. I can say that. Let's see. Did I cover everything? I guess I can show you an extra that actually did get up. So one thing I actually didn't mention in my introduction is that just because it wasn't really like a haunting or something I witnessed, but it was something I caught on video. So for those of you who aren't familiar, there's this place called the Winchester House in San Jose, California. And there you can tour this mansion. And so the story behind the Winchester House is that this lady's husband like sold guns and stuff, and he died. And then once after he died, this woman, his wife, would get visited by spirits, supposedly killed by these guns. And they basically threatened her, saying that if she didn't like keep building on the house, they were gonna kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that was more advice by a psychic medium that they were gonna kill her if she didn't do this, but
I think it was a medium. Yeah.
it was a medium that told her.
I think so.
Okay. Yes, you've heard the story. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she kept building on this mansion, have doors that lead to nowhere, stairs that lead to nowhere. I've been there. Had a great time, and I don't know if they stopped doing this because I had a friend that went, I think like 4 or 5 years ago, and she said that they don't let people take photos or video. But when I went in early high school, they were totally fine with it. So I took a bunch of photos and video, and in one of my videos, there's something really strange, and I was gonna show everybody it. It's only 4 seconds long, and you don't need the audio for it because I'm not really saying anything important, and I don't like my voice. So yeah, you don't need to know what I'm saying. I'll just show you the movement of the thing, and I'll explain how it's like unexplained. So I'm gonna share again. Let's see. So not that. So I might have a little. Yeah, I figured that might happen. So hang on a second. Let me close that. I'll open that. So is it still multiple on your screen, Ricky?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got it kind of. Let's see, what's that? Exit full screen. Okay, there we go. So now I have that there, and I should be able to stop and then reshare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And oh, it's not giving me the option? How rude. Why was it doing it? Hang on a second.
Okay.
So... Oh! So... So do you see a video on your screen?
I see your screen looking at our video.
Oh, you do see the video?
No.
Shoot. I'm trying to figure out why it's not. Hang on. I promise I'll figure it out.
It's fine. We got time.
Let's see. So stop sharing. I'll leave it open. And try one more time. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, now? What's that?
We got it. You can show it.
Oh, it says it shows?
Yes.
Okay, alright. You're breaking up. Alright, so I'm gonna play this for... the video's longer than that, but it's only 4 seconds. And it starts immediately. So everyone pay attention closely. Did you see it?
I think I saw something. You want to, for those that might have missed it, point it out to what we're looking at specifically?
Alright. So that's the first shot right there. It looks like, in my opinion, like a hunchbacked guy, maybe with a bald head, his arm right there on the right. And then you see it there with his arm longer, and you'll see it move. It's really... See that? Okay. Okay. I think you see that, right? The arm moving?
Yeah.
And I'll play it one more time in fast mode. Actually, I can point my clicker. See? Arm, body, head. Possibly another arm here, but it's too hard to tell with the brightness of the light.
It could be the reflection from the window, too, but I do see something.
I don't think it's a reflection from the window, and I'll explain why. So there it is again. You see, just marching on. Okay. So now everyone's seen it. I'll stop sharing. Oh, it did stop sharing. Okay.
It does it for so long that it stops by itself.
Oh, okay. Alright. But you got to see what I was like pointing at, right, with my cursor? Okay, just want to make sure. So, the reason why it's not a reflection of anyone behind us is that in order for that to be a reflection of any of us, we would have to like turn around and go backwards. But no one in the tour group is allowed to turn around and go backwards. Like one person in the tour actually did want to leave. They had to be escorted by another employee. They could not just like wander off by themselves. So, and we were all busy moving at that time. Like it was a pretty quick tour. That's why I had to do video, because there was not enough time to take pictures of everything. So I just did video.
Right.
And just happened to catch that in that video. And even if it was a reflection, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's moving pretty quick. And the shape of it...
It's odd. It's a good catch.
Yeah, thanks. That happened, like I said, with early high school, so... Which was a long time ago. Actually, it probably says on the file how old it is. How old it is. Let's see. File details. It says 2008.
Okay. So it's been a while.
All right.
Hmm.
Let's see. Well, it has been an hour, and that's basically, I think, everything I kind of wanted to cover for this podcast specifically.
Okay.
So, next time, if you're willing, I was thinking about covering more like what I'd like to do in the future, and also what kind of related to like my own paranormal experiences again, and also other weird stuff I've been through that's not really related to specifically ghosts or anything. So my next podcast would probably just cover again what I want to do in the future, and but with more of an emphasis on like I want to say I don't like using the word demons or demonic spirits, but I guess it's the word that everyone like understands what you're talking about. So I guess I will use that
Yeah.
word. I don't like using that, and I'll explain, I guess, why in that podcast. But for now,
Okay.
I think this is a good place to end, unless I don't know. You have anything to
Okay.
add?
Not really. I mean, we covered a good bit. Definitely a good show. And definitely a great introduction to using our videos here and actually have a camera. So I thought it was pretty good. I just gotta find a way to improve my network connection, which I'll do for the next show. Try to get a stronger signal so it won't cut in and out as much. Other than
Yeah.
that, it was great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, of course. And like I said, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope that you like and comment what you thought of the show. And if you have any questions, I will definitely answer them in the next streaming podcast, video cast, whatever. And I'll be more than glad to answer anything that comes up. And my brain's blanking out. Hang on. So
It's all good. No worries. But the show is streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So you have multiple sources to watch it if you missed it live.
that is correct. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show, and hope to see you next time. And can't wait to read your comments if you have any. Have a good night.
Alright, guys, thanks for watching and joining us on our first live video podcast. We had a couple of hiccups here and there as we try to learn from the different layout that they give us to work with here. It's now is the network connection. Me having my gaming computer on a Wi-Fi adapter. This is what's connected me to the internet, so it's not the greatest tool. That's going to limit to how good the signal goes through. But I'm going to try and improve on that before the next show next Sunday. If I even had to get an internal Wi-Fi adapter with a stronger connection. So it's going to continue to build on this, continue to improve. Thanks again for watching. Thank you again, Davina, for being on the show. Like I said, if you haven't got to watch it live, it's going to be on Facebook, Twitter, and in my YouTube channel. And just for those who want to keep track of me, I'm going to show you the YouTube channel. So hang with me here. We're still learning to use these tools here. Seeing that this is the Paranormal Truth Seekers. For every reason, this does not stay changed. If I change it, the next couple of days it'll revert back to this. I do not know why. But anyways, we're at 267 subscribers. Not that great. We can do better. As you can see, my views are really low, which we can do better. But anyways, I want to continue to improve and get more views, more watchers, hopefully this new format here will help bring in some attention. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. And once again, thanks for watching, and see you on the next show.